welcome to another of my Conquest guides. Today we will be going over the Sector 4 feats Marked for Death, which requires us to inflict deathmark 10 times, and Offhand attack, which requires us to gain 50 bonus turns. I'll be showcasing a few setups for Marked for Death, as our options for deathmark are a lot more limited than bonus turns. The first lineup utilises Boss Nass and Jar Jar only, farming the General Skywalker sub-boss node. We'll be exploiting Jar Jar's 1000% evasion while the shield generator is active. Paired with Voluntary Vanguard, which is essential to one-shot these feats, Jar Jar can't be hit and will only take true damage from Ark's turret and reduced amount of health-based damage from Echo's unique. This means the shield generator will stay active long enough for Jar Jar to inflict multiple deathmark and gain a huge amount of bonus turns. Again, you will need a Voluntary Vanguard, and I'd also suggest a few protection shields to provide you with a few more turns once the shield generator is down. Other than ensuring you have Voluntary Vanguard equipped and that Jar Jar gets marked, which shouldn't be too difficult as Jar Jar's base health protection is slightly higher than Boss Nass's, just hit auto when you load in. From my testing, you will get taken out a lot sooner on auto basic as you have no means of recovering protection. Of course, with Jar Jar there is quite a bit of RNG, so you may want to play manually to not prematurely take anyone out. The next lineups use the deployable cooling systems consumable, which can be obtained from the global feat Damage It, which requires us to inflict crit damage down 80 times. With the aforementioned and several discs that provide buffs equipped, such as defensive and offensive buffs and solid intel, run any lineup with Grandmaster Yoda to spam buffs and pretty much guarantee cooldowns being reset for the duration of the battle. Using a crew node, you want to take Sith Trooper and Hux out, then start spamming deathmark on crew. I use crew as my tank, but Jedi Master Luke and 5s are good substitutes. 5s especially for his basic, which is good for topping up the enemy crew's health. Alternatively, you could use Voluntary Vanguard with Malak. If you don't have a crew node, you can also farm deathmark using the Geonosian's Datacron node, but you will want Nihilus so he can take an enemy out. That should be everything. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know below, find me on Discord. Till the next video.